warm welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I am Shivangi Mishra, and now today's top stories. India leads the next biotech breakthrough. Yamaha Motor celebrates 70th anniversary, launches new logo. And Bangladesh clothes makers uneasy amid Trump tariff push. Let's begin the show. India's journey in science and innovation is defined by its real-world impact. Across the nation, from modest laboratories to advanced research institutes, scientists and innovators are working tirelessly to address local challenges with indigenous solutions. These breakthroughs are not just made in India, they are made for India, transforming lives and empowering communities. Join us as we explore how homegrown research is turning hope into healing and science into lasting social change.
In labs across India, scientists are shaping a new era of public health, one where innovation is world-class and rooted in Indian needs. From Bangalore to Hyderabad and Pune to Ahmedabad, biotechnology breakthroughs are redefining medicine, research, and accessibility. A standout effort is underway in Gujarat, where Gujarat Biotechnology University (GBU), in partnership with industry player Cellimmune, is developing an indigenous version of CAR T-cell therapy, a cutting-edge cancer treatment that typically costs over $400,000 per patient in the United States. With GBU leading R&D and Cellimmune preparing it for clinical use, this life-saving therapy could soon be accessible to Indian patients at a fraction of the global cost.
CAR-T थेरेपी एक ऐसा थेरेपी है जो बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक्सपेंसिव है। यूएसए में अगर मैं बात करूं तो इसका कॉस्ट अराउंड 4 to 5 लाख डॉलर पर डोज। एक ही डोज पड़ता है वो मैं मानता हूं, बट 4 to 5 लाख यूएस डॉलर, दैट्स ह्यूज। इट्स एज गुड एज कि इंडियन पॉपुलेशन के मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द इंडियन पॉपुलेशन के लिए ये समझिए ये थेरेपी है ही नहीं, क्योंकि हमारे पास तो उतने पैसे हैं ही नहीं। अगर कुछ एलाइट सेक्शन को हम के अलावा बाकी में पॉपुलेशन में कैपेबिलिटी है नहीं। तो अगर ये थेरेपी अगर हमें इंडियन पॉपुलेशन के लिए एक्सेसिबल एंड अफोर्डेबल करना हो तो इसका कॉस्ट तो हमें कट डाउन करना ही है, और कॉस्ट घटाने का एक जो तरीका है वो है इंडिजिनस होम ग्रोन टेक्नोलॉजीज।
तो हमारी कोशिश ये है कि अगर उसको हम कॉस्ट को रिड्यूस कर सकें, जो कि इस प्रोजेक्ट का सबसे बड़ा उद्देश्य है, तो ये आम जनता के लिए एक पॉसिबिलिटी होगी कि वो भी बच पाए। फिलहाल तो ये ब्लड कैंसर है, पर ये जो टेक्निक है इसका बेसिस जो है, जिसे हम CAR T सेल कहते हैं, इस बेसिस से आगे चल के आप ब्लड कैंसर फ्लूइड का कैंसर है, पर आप ट्यूमर के कैंसर को भी अप्रोच कर सकते हैं।
Long known as the pharmacy of the world for its affordable medicines, India is now emerging as a hub for biotech innovation. Over the past decade, the country has become one of the top 12 biotech destinations globally, advancing in vaccines, diagnostics, gene therapies, and bioinformatics. Backed by strong government support, private partnerships, and a skilled talent pool, the sector is thriving. The Bio-E3 policy, launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, envisions biotechnology as a core pillar of India's economy, driving innovation through AI, machine learning, and data-driven healthcare solutions.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने Bio-E3 पॉलिसी निकाली, मतलब बायोटेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड इकोनॉमी। तो आप सोच के देखिए कि क्या इसका इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है, क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी हमेशा इंजीनियरिंग, स्पेस और इन चीज़ों में यूज़ हुई है। अब टेक्नोलॉजी जब बायोलॉजी में घुसकर आ रही है, तो आप ये सोचिए कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस भी अब उसमें आ गया, मशीन लर्निंग उसमें आ गई, तो इसका बहुत भयंकर स्कोप है।
India's biotech revolution is not confined to its metros. States like Gujarat, Telangana, Karnataka, and Maharashtra are fast emerging as dynamic biotech corridors, where universities, startups, and industry are joining forces to tackle the country's toughest health challenges. From pioneering affordable cancer treatments to creating next gen vaccines, Indian researchers are showing that innovation does not need to be imported. It can be imagined, engineered, and delivered right here at home.
Moving on. Yamaha Motor celebrates its 70th anniversary in 2025, marking 7 decades of innovation and engineering excellence. To commemorate the milestone, a brand new company logo was unveiled by President Motofumi Shitara. Yamaha began its journey by applying engineering expertise to build motorcycles, laying the foundation for one of the world's leading motorbike giants today. The new logo symbolizes Yamaha's evolution and forward-looking spirit. We have a report.
Yamaha Motor celebrates 70th anniversary year and new company logo was introduced. For motorbike giant Yamaha Motor, 2025 is the anniversary year of 70 years after establishment. New company logo was introduced by President Motofumi Shitara.
創立70周年を迎えた本日から掲げられている新しい企業ロゴは、ヤマハ発動機の新たなスタートを象徴するものです。ロゴの中にある音差マークは、私たちヤマハ発動機の重要なシンボルです。このマークは楽器の調律に使われ、音差を3本組み合わせたもので、創業当初から製造・販売技術の連携によってたくましく世界に羽ばたいていこうという意志が込められています。
Yamaha Motor was born from music instrument company. Utilizing its engineering technology, trial to assemble motorbike has started.
当時、日本楽器製造さんでは金属加工、それから鋳造、いわゆるその金属を扱う加工技術っていうのが結構高い技術を持っていた。オートバイっていえばその金属加工技術がないとシリンダーだったり根幹の心臓部分はできませんので、そういうところでその技術を生かした第1号製品が YA1 だと。通常我々モーターサイクルと呼んでますけれども、二輪車になります。レースっていうのが当時盛んに結構行われてましたんで、そこで勝ったことがやっぱ自信になって、ヤマハ発動機は挑戦の歴史だよっていうのをなんか刷り込まれてるような気がします。
当社はやはりエンジニアリングの会社でいろんなイノベーションを製品を通じて送り出してきます。でやっぱりカーボンニュートラルっていうのはその原点やっぱり CO2 を削減して住みやすい環境になるべきということで、製品をお届けするだけではなくて周りにあるインフラ、それから生活環境もやっぱり豊かで楽しみがある、そういう社会を築けるためにリーディングカンパニーはやっぱりヤマハはそういうところでしっかりそういうビジネスも行うし、環境に対しても我々は前進したアプローチしているという。
Based on the concept of 3 turning forks, 3 business elements, production, sales and engineering, Yamaha Motor will continue next and after next challenge.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
For Japanese farmer Kazuzuki Hosaka, rice has been long priced too low. So low that over a 30-year career, he has seen around 500 rice farmers in his part of northern Japan's Niigata prefecture go out of business. The surge in domestic rice prices over the last year has been both a blessing and a curse for Japan's grower. Profit rose, but it also invited an unwanted influx of cheaper imports that could threaten farmers' livelihood down the road. US President Donald Trump has further complicated the picture by urging Japan to buy more American rice to correct the trade imbalances between the two nations. With an eye on voters ahead of the upper house election on July 20th, the government has been releasing emergency rice from its stockpile to sell for about 200 yen per 5 kg. Farmers, also traditionally an important voting bloc for Ishiba's Liberal Democratic Party, were told it was a dire but necessary move to protect Japan's food security and prevent consumers from switching permanently away from homegrown rice. But for most of the past 50 years, Japan has poured its energy into doing the opposite, providing subsidies to farmers to grow crops other than the staple rice so as to prevent oversupply and a fall in prices. Greece has rescued hundreds of migrants off its southern island of Gavdos and Crete in 5 separate incidents since Friday, its Coast Guard said on July 6. More than 430 migrants were spotted and rescued about 25 nautical miles of Gavdos, Greece's southernmost island, on Sunday. The migrants were transferred to the port of Agia Galini on the southern coast of Crete, where they boarded buses that would transfer them to a different location. In a separate incident, also on Sunday, the European Union's Frontex border agency rescued 96 migrants on board 2 boats off Crete, the Coast Guard said. The migrants are now being taken to Crete, Greece's largest and most populous island. Sea arrivals from northeastern Libya of migrants trying to cross to Europe have surged in recent months. They mainly come from the Middle East and North America, including nationals from war-torn Sudan and citizens of Egypt and Bangladesh. The International Criminal Court this week issued arrest warrants for 2 Taliban leaders in Afghanistan, including Supreme Spiritual Leader Habibullah Akhundzada, accusing them of persecution of women and girls. The ICC said there are reasonable grounds to believe that Akhundzada and Abdul Hakim Haqqani, Chief Justice of the Taliban, have committed the crime against humanity of persecution on gender grounds against girls, women, and other persons non-conforming with the Taliban's policy on gender and gender identity or expression. Western diplomats say Taliban's path toward wider international recognition is blocked until it changes course on women's rights.
In a sharp reminder of Pakistan's chronic neglect of its occupied territories, a senior PPP leader from Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Shaukat Javed Mir, has criticized Islamabad for neglecting POJK in the national budget. He slammed the government for broken promises as roads crumble, hospitals lack resources, and welfare remains absent. His remarks have sparked public anger and renewed scrutiny of Pakistan's continued indifference towards the people of its so-called Azad Kashmir. Here's a report.
In a strong critique of Pakistan's failed governance in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, PPP leader from Muzaffarabad, Shaukat Javed Mir, has raised serious concerns over the collapse of key infrastructure in the region. Questioning the fate of long-promised development projects, Mir accused Islamabad of deliberate neglect, saying that roads, bridges and essential public services are deteriorating rapidly. His remarks highlight growing frustration among residents who feel abandoned amid repeated budgetary betrayals and the crumbling state of basic infrastructure in POJK.
वहाँ ब्रथवाल गली का 10 किलोमीटर पुख्तगी का ऐलान वहाँ के मुंतखब मेंबर असम्बली वज़ीर तालीम ने किया, वज़ीर आज़म ने भी गवर्नमेंट डिग्री कॉलेज में कहा किधर है वो दफाई सड़क, वो सियाती सड़क। फिर लीपा बाईपास 4 किलोमीटर सड़क वो किधर गायब हो गई बजट में। और फिर चकमकाम 1 किलोमीटर सड़क, बंडाकुली सियाती 1 किलोमीटर सड़क, अस्पतालों में दवाई मुयसर करें, ये औशरबा फीसें ख़त्म करें, लोगों को रोजगार मेरिट की बिना पर दें। ये आपकी बैड गवर्नेंस का इंतहा हो चुकी है कि आप 1 साल में सेहत कार्ड शुरू नहीं कर सके और आप आज 1 साल बाद आपने पैसे रखे और जो वेलफेयर फंड के 10 अरब रुपए थे वो आपने मालियाती इदारों के पास रख के उससे कौन मुनाफा कमा रहा है।
Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has long suffered from administrative apathy and chronic underfunding. Despite years of lofty promises, the region continues to grapple with crumbling roads, poorly equipped hospitals, erratic electric supply, and acute water shortages. Locals say that development remains largely on paper while daily life grows hard. The continued neglect reflects not just policy failure but a systemic disregard by the Pakistani regime, leaving the people of POJK trapped in a cycle of broken promises and institutional collapse.
The proposed 35% US tariff hike has sent shockwaves through Bangladesh's garment sector, the country's economic lifeline. Factory owners warn of closures, job losses, and export declines if a resolution isn't reached soon. Bangladesh, the second largest exporter of ready made garment clothing after China, is likely to witness severe harm. As negotiations continue in Washington, hope lingers, but uncertainty dominates. The next few weeks could decide the fate of millions tied to this vital export driven sector. Following a direct letter from US President Donald Trump to Bangladesh's chief advisor Muhammad Yunus this week, announcing a 35% increase in export tariffs beginning this August, garment factory owners across Bangladesh have expressed deep concern. They warn that the steep hike could severely impact the industry, potentially leading to widespread factory closures and mass layoffs in one of the country's most critical export sectors. Bangladesh is the world's second largest exporter of ready-made garment clothing after China in nearly $40 billion global apparel market, one-fourth of which comes from the US.
As of now, it's I think, big sad news for us. If we cannot improve it within the next 3 weeks, I think the Trump administration gave the deadline the 1st of August, and he hinted that there is still scope to renegotiate the whole thing. So that we can hope, but honestly, I cannot hope that much big, because in 3 months we could not do anything, to be very honest. So in next 3 weeks, if we can do that, will be fantastic. But as of now, it is very difficult for me to be that much hopeful. It's very complicated situation, very unclear, and most unclear, more risky for us. So it is very bad time in next 3 weeks. I think it will be sleepless time for the manufacturers, those particularly dealing with US order and having a lot of order in pipeline. And we are just hoping for best that our negotiator, those who are now sitting in Washington, they can show us some magic in next few days or couple of weeks.
Bangladesh faces strong competition in the textile market from countries like India, Pakistan, and Vietnam. Several factory owners producing for US brands said they were expediting shipments to complete deliveries by the end of July to avoid the looming tariff. Manufacturers in Bangladesh are anxiously awaiting a possible positive outcome of ongoing trade negotiations between Dhaka and Washington. While Vietnam has been served a 20% tariff hike by Washington, Bangladeshi manufacturers are anxiously awaiting the outcome of ongoing trade negotiations between Dhaka and US officials in Washington. Several factory owners producing for US brands said they were expediting shipments to complete deliveries by the end of July to avoid the looming tariff. Some warned the hike could lead to factory closures and mass layoffs.
USA is the single largest importing country of apparel from Bangladesh. So obviously, it's not only the $8 billion industry. They affect us in many ways. We have invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of workers development, factories development, compliance, so many other things. Historically, it happened actually. So obviously, other than the monetary value, it will affect mentally or in relationship wise in many ways.
The proposed 35% tariff hike by the US has created a wave of anxiety across Bangladesh's garment industry, threatening its economic backbone. Factory owners fear shutdowns, job losses, and a sharp decline in exports if negotiations fail. With the August 1st deadline looming, all eyes are on ongoing talks in Washington. While hopes remains, uncertainty prevails. The coming weeks are crucial not just for the industry but for millions of livelihoods tied to Bangladesh's apparel exports. As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.